this video game voice acting panel. First up, I'm going to introduce Mr. Kaiji Tang. You may know him as Owain from Fire Emblem or Archer from Fate's Day. There he is. Woo. Next up, we got Mr. Alejandro Saab. Yeah, that's you. You know him as Shalan from Dragonball Legends, Lark from Rising of the Shield Hero. Alright, Daman, you come up next. Daman Mills, everyone. You know him as Frieza from Dragon Ball. He's also Koga in, what is it, Paladins. Woo! Woo! Next up we got Mr. Chiplock. You know him as Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat. He's also Subaru Natsuki from the video game. Next up, Brianna Knickerbocker. You know her. She is Sakura from Fire Emblem. She is also Rain from Catherine Full-Body. That's gonna be awesome. Buckland, ladies and gentlemen. You know her as 2B from Near Automata. To be or not to be. Through To Be or Not to Be. She is also Heart in what is that? Cross Tag Battle. Yeah. Is that it? Oh my gosh, that's everyone. Look at that.
Thank you for coming. Well done.
All right, good night.
So if you guys want...
Looking good, Joker.
If you guys want to go down the line, maybe introduce yourself, say what's up.
Hello everyone. My name is Kaiji Tang. I'm a voice actor from Los Angeles, California. He read you some credits. I'm really happy to be here. Pinks, by the way, is in the corner there. If you guys want to know what Rosie O'Donnell tastes like, she's amazing. It's great hot dogs. Please go patronize. Amazing hot dogs, yeah. I'm going to spend all my time like hyping up Pinks in the Bag because they're my favorite hot dogs restaurant.
I was member. Hi, I'm Alejandro Saab. I'm a voice actor. Mainly have worked over in Texas. Recently moved to LA, so yeah. Woo! That's it. I also do YouTube, I guess. Cool.
Yeah, YouTube.
Kill me. Oh no, I'll die. Hi, I'm Daman Mills. I'm a voice actor over in Dallas. I work primarily in anime. I've done some video games like Dragonball FighterZ for Frieza and Paladins and Smite, stuff like that. What's up? Woo! Hi, I'm Chiplock. I'm a Los Angeles-based voice actor who uses his career to fund his crippling gacha game addiction. Same.
Same.
Dragalia Lost for Life. Dragon Ball Legend. I'm Green Shores or Trails of Cold Steel, Mishima Yuki in Persona 5. But my happiest is definitely Rivali, Teba, and the Deku Tree in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Woo!
Hi, I'm Brianna Knickerbocker. I'm a voice actress in Los Angeles, and I mainly do anime and video games. Woo! Hi guys, I'm Kira. I play 2B in Near Automata. I'm also into a lot of fighting games such as BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Street Fighter 5, Dead or Alive 6, Soul Calibur 6 as 2 characters, and Danganronpa games, Ace Attorney, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Woo! That's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and I'm Eddie. I'm here. I'm an engineer. I record a lot of these individuals.
Genius engineer. Genius.
Don't boost his ego. Oh my gosh. I know it's
Above average engineer.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Video games.
I guess.
Hold on, I was gonna say it.
Why? Okay. Here's a starting point. What is the first video game each of you have worked on?
Worked on. Do we want to go down the line?
Sure, whenever you like.
Alright, so my very first gaming voiceover session was actually in the original BlazBlue. And I was like some random scientist guy in like a couple of like mercenaries. But I recall that session very vividly because like I had never worked on a video game before in my entire life, been a gamer my entire life. So like I still have very happy memories of being at Denny's at like 3 in the morning after I got to do it. Being like, yeah, I was in a video game, no one can ever take that away from me. Like a little cave gremlin, like pancakes. Yeah, that was my first game.
Unless they discontinue. And speaking of, the first video game that I got to voice when I moved to Texas was this lovely game called Battleborn. I voiced Kid Ultra. You probably didn't play it because Overwatch destroyed that game during its beta.
Hey, Battleborn was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Capitalism, you know.
But yeah, it was super fun because that was the first time I got to be in a video game professionally, and I was working with Gearbox, and I was a huge fan of Borderlands. So yeah, sweet. The first video game session I had in Texas, I think it was Smite. Yeah, it was Smite. It was Smite. I think I've done like 8, something like that. 8 characters. A lot of them. In Smite alone, not including Paladins. The first one, I don't remember what I did. It was like Zid or something like that. I don't know. But it was kind of neat. They have like a lot of like ad-libbing, sound effects and like reacts and stuff. That was kind of fun. I think the first like major studio game that I voiced in was actually Danganronpa as Kiyotaka Ishimaru. Yes, and I'm very glad that they cast me as the character who talks really loudly every single time he opens his mouth, because that was about the limit of my skill at that point in time. I was very good at doing that, and as you can tell, I'm still good at doing that. But the first actual game of any kind that I voiced for was it was a 99-cent mobile game called Halloween Skeleton. And I played this jiggly little skeleton that you poked him and he told terrible jokes. So
it's pretty much just you.
Yeah, it was me, just with less meat on my bones than there already is. So I'm very proud of it. I downloaded it and then instantly asked for a refund.
Oh my god. My first major studio game was Omega Quintet, and I played Arya, and she was really fun because she got kidnapped by the bad guys, and then she was like in solitude and she only had access to her cat, so she started to believe she was a cat, and that was amazing.
What? Goals to go a cat. Goals.
Exactly. And I got to meow.
I think my first real game was called Castle Crashers, and I did that before I was...
You were in Castle Crashers? Wait!
She was the princess.
What? Sorry. I love Behemoth.
Yeah, I had like 5 lines, I was like the little princesses that are like, help me!
It doesn't matter!
But, and I got that because I did a lot of work with Newgrounds at the time, and so when they were kind of making that game, they asked me to do like the little voices sprinkled around the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
All right. Well, here's another one. What would you guys maybe go around and say? What is like
Your favorite game of all time?
Yeah, because I can speak. Your favorite game of all. Yeah, go with that. That's actually
We
pretty
were
good.
in, or just games in general?
You know what? Have both. Both. Go with both. That sounds good. Both is good.
Okay, wait, what was the other half of both?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time, but also favorite game that you've been in.
Okay.
KG. We started down here a couple times.
I know, right? Fun, Kira, you
Start wherever
first.
you want. Just
I'm
jump
sorry,
in.
I just keep staring at your handsome face. Mom, Dad, stop fighting. Wait, who's never?
Okay, do you want to mix it up?
Oh my god. Fine, here's my answer. My favorite game of all time is Psychonauts. That's why I'm wearing this shirt. I'm still waiting for the second one. Where is it? And my favorite game, that was a loud one. A long one. My favorite game that I voiced in Dragon Ball Legends, because Dragon Ball. Yeah. There. Who's next? Yes, I don't know. I'll stick. My favorite game of all time. Smash Brothers, maybe? I really love Smash Brothers. So basic. Shut up. God. And I think the favorite one that I recorded for probably Dragon Ball FighterZ. Monkey. That's right. Favorite game of all time is this 3-way tie. For Monster Collection is Jade Cocoon 2. For JRPG is the Entry in Odyssey series. And overall is Legend of Mana. They're all diamonds in the rough. Favorite game that I've been in, I actually can't talk about it yet, but it's Let me put it this way. Follow my Twitter because I normally give out a copy of the game on release day as like a raffle. I'm giving out 5 copies of this game when it comes out. That's how crazy I am about this project.
So now I'm interested.
No, NDA. You know, boy. You know. Dope.
My favorite game ever is
excited about Crystar.
Yeah, me too. It's super dark, you guys. If you want to just like murder your heart and soul, then play Crystar. Yeah.
So I'm a fighting gamer. I think my favorite game franchise of all time is Guilty Gear. I also, in terms of games that I've been in, Soul Calibur 6 was like really, really special to me because Soul Calibur was the first fighting game I ever played. And also, of course, Nier Automata is extremely special to me.
You voiced Talon, right?
Talon and Juby.
Talon was my main in the like 2-month period where I played the game competitively.
So I needed some time to think about this. I have very complex emotions about that question. So technically, the game I put most of my life into is World of Warcraft. But my favorite game of all time, I think, still has to be Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, it was so good. I will still sometimes just boot it up and play it. That's how fantastic it is. And the game. Weird story about my favorite game that I recorded. Technically, it's Fallout 76 as the player character because I have so many stories about that recording process in that game. Like, you guys don't understand. Before Fallout 76 came out, I was scheduled for like an entire year to record, right? They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have these things and blah, blah, blah. The second the game hit, all of that disappeared. So I love the build-up process to that point because it was like, oh yeah, all our hopes and dreams, oh, we love this thing, it's gonna be amazing, everyone's gonna... I have not recorded a single extra time for that game since it released. Yeah, it's been an emotional ride for Fallout 76. That's my favorite story, that's my favorite recording story.
Yay! Also, we just talk about Paper Mario for a second.
All right, we need a remaster 1,000-Year Door. Which one? No. 1,000-Year Door. We need a remaster.
The older, like,
Because I've heard people say Sticker Star, and I had to cut my friendship with them.
Gross. Bad answer. Sticker Star. I just don't want to get it. I hate it. Especially the pink one. Whatever that one. I returned it.
Sticker Star shot my dog.
Yikes.
Tell us how you really feel.
Next question.
All right. What do you guys consider a great challenge when you're in the booth recording for characters? Sean's challenge is opening water bottles.
Not fanning out.
Oh, yeah.
So for me personally, it sounds weird because I get cast for a lot of angry dudes. It's whenever a character has to get really mad, and I have a problem with projection when I'm mad because it gets really big, and that's just how I get mad. Other people's apparently stew and simmer. I don't have that dial in my emotional spectrum, so I've had to learn over the last 13 years that when there's an angry shouting scene, it doesn't mean destroy the equipment.
Ooh, yikes. Have you broken mics?
Yeah, please don't.
I have very much tested those really professional quality mics that can hear your blood.
Oh,
right?
God.
They had to turn the game down. Like, Eddie, we've never been in a really screamy session.
We have.
Have we?
You've overmodulated the microphone on me.
Yeah, I have a really big problem doing that.
Yeah.
I've had to just stop.
It's like back up 10 feet from the mic. Okay, now go.
Probably nerding out in the booth. Because I remember recording Dragonball and the director was like, man, what was that quote again? And I was like, don't say it. Don't say it. And I said it. And he's like, you should, yeah, you would know. And so it's just like passing that, like that would be like the cap. But goofing off, like, or geeking out.
So your challenge is getting called out while you're working.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get called out a lot.
It's okay, me too.
I think one of the hardest things, I guess, with dubbing for games is matching the audio timing.
Oh, the timing.
Because for all the Dragon Ball games, we have to match like the audio waveform. And usually it's like too many words to be said in a very short amount of time, and then we have to try to cut. And you can only cut out so many words, and then sometimes they are not allowed to. So sometimes it's just really tricky to make it fit, and sometimes you have to pause at a very specific instant.
Yeah, because English and Japanese isn't always 1-to-1 with the ratio. There could be 2 syllables in Japanese, but you may need like 10 words to explain it. But you also need to fit it within 2 seconds. And
exactly. And we don't see, another thing is like recording in a vacuum. Sometimes you don't get a lot of context with what's going on in the scene, so you kind of use your imagination and whatever the director tells you. So.
Speaking of recording in a vacuum, definitely holding in the need to fart.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, we hear it. We hear it.
No, for real. I idolize like folks like Damon over here can scream when they yell and scream. They can do it so cleanly and so crisp. And I haven't had a lot of cases, with the exception being ReZero, but not in video games, where I've had to just full-on scream something out, whether it's shouting out an attack name or being super angry, like blow out the mic angry. But I definitely idolize people who can have those outbursts and not crack their voice in the process of doing it. So it's something that I continue to practice a lot, and something that I hope I get to have more chances to practice, because I would love to be able to, like some of the screams in Persona when these characters have their breakdowns, they're godlike, and I want to be able to match that someday.
I kind of have like a similar thingy with the voice cracking, but it's a little bit different. For me, I voice a ton of like soft, timid, breathy characters. So when these breathy, soft-spoken characters like this have to be loud, where is the line with like staying in character voice? And when I do get that loud and it is higher in the chest voice, I don't have a high chest voice, so it does crack. So that's kind of my thing.
Mine was going to be what Damon said about the timing. So much of the games that we work on are localized games from other languages, and sometimes if you have a really good dialogue adaptation, then it will be written to fit for the most part. But I've also worked on a lot where it's the same thing. It's like, your script is like 2 words, and then the original translation is really, really long, and they're just like, stretch it out if you can't change anything, and that's when it's like super hard. And also, because you can say like, we dub anime, so we're used to dubbing to picture, but I've noticed that a lot, sometimes you do. Sometimes in a game you will have a picture to dub the cutscenes to, but sometimes you don't, and so you have to match the original language audio, but without seeing the pictures. You don't know what the characters
Yeah, very rarely do we have like the video. Like say for any Dragon Ball games you guys might have played, you've been like, why are the lip flaps so weird? It's because we don't see the picture at all, and we don't match to it, so it's just whatever time.
Yeah, most of the time nothing's reanimated.
Fighters was nice with the story mode. They actually like synced the mouth flaps to us, which was neat.
Yeah, the only 2 projects I've done like that were Catherine Fullbody and Shenmue 3. They reanimated to my lip flaps,
If
which
you
was
want,
amazing.
if you want a good example, load up Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and play. Because if you play with the Japanese audio, it fits the flaps perfectly, every single one. Then you switch to English, it's not even close.
It's like, I found you, faker. Fake.
Or he goes, what? And his mouth is like open for like an entire 4 seconds.
Yeah, most of the time we don't get the luxury of reanimating the mouth flap to fit the English or whatever other language.
Kingdom Hearts privilege.
I don't know. Kingdom Hearts only got a partial treatment on that one.
Yeah, and, like because there was those like in Kingdom Hearts 2, especially those older ones.
Yeah.
They besides like they reanimated like the basic faces that they have, they would just be like flap, 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 flap.
Just do it, guys. God, just animate.
By the way, guys, if any of you have questions, there is a mic right there set up for all. So,
In fact, the staff blessed me with this entire box of Haichu. So if you come up and ask a question, you will get a Haichu of your choice. Maybe 3. There are like 600 in here.
I mean, you're gonna have to catch. He'll throw them all at you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
stay up to throw it.
Whole box.
Don't!
Why are we like this?
Well, does anyone want to kind of all chime in and maybe explain like a typical video game session?
Oh God.
Well, they're also different.
Yeah.
yeah,
They are very all
depends.
different.
Depends what you're going in for. Usually for like action games, you split up the session kind of in half. You do all your dialogue first, and then you take a big break, and you get your tea, and then you're like, all right, gird your loins and it's time to be set on fire, you know, for 2 hours. Those sessions are very challenging because they're physically taxing, because you can't get a proper like falling off a cliff scream or a set on fire scream unless you use your whole body. So you're in there looking like a doofus the entire time, like flailing your limbs around, and the entire time you're like bleeding from the throat. But like,
It's fun to watch.
yeah, it's pretty great. But those are the ones you want to schedule on a Friday.
And you have to commit physically, but you have to stay on mic. Because like if you're flailing around because your character's being shocked to death, but you turn your head in the process, they're gonna go, we lost that take, we need you to do it again, please stay on the mic. Or like, if your hands are like in front of your face and they're like blocking the audio. So we are processing all of this while also burning alive, figuratively, to try and get the take.
While standing still.
Yeah, while standing still.
But then there's also sessions, like I recorded a video game a couple months ago, where they have like these new little
Helmets?
hats.
Yeah,
the little hats. And they're not even helmets, they're just like these little caps.
Yeah.
And they have like 2 little microphones
I just
on
did
it.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
I did that for Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, but it gave you the option to like move around and be more physical.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
We have some questions, it seems.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do it.
This is for Brianna Knickerbocker.
Ah, come on. Kidding.
How did it feel voicing Ninian?
Oh, it was so much fun. She's like a magical creature, you know? She's part dragon, so it was really, really fun.
Yeah, she's actually my favorite character from FF7.
Oh, yay!
Quite a few of us were in Fire Emblem here.
Yeah, I think there's a
Can I
large
ask another one if that's alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, this is for Kaiji. How did it feel voicing Owain?
The Lord of Darkness.
Yeah, Owain, there's not a lot of acting in Owain because he's just a massive LARPer. Like, and he's a joyous soul, and I think the only real acting twinge to Owain is just be as earnest as possible about everything you say. And yeah, he's my glorious awkward son, and I love him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What you got?
Yeah, 3 questions. I gotta make it quick though. So.
All right.
Okay. Do you have your worst or least favorite video game that you ever played that made you angry?
Oh, that we played.
Yeah.
Moko Moko Friends is a lie. Moko Moko Friends has a main character who has 2 personality traits, and that's meat and stupid. That's it. And go ahead. The recruitment system is a lie. The items that are supposed to help you recruit monsters don't do anything, and the dungeons are never longer than 2 floors. Even the post game. It was 30. There was when it went on sale in the eShop, there was a glitch, and it was being sold for $6 instead of 30.
Yikes.
I missed out on it, so I had to buy it full price, and now I wish I hadn't even bought it at the $6 price tag. A waste of time.
Yikes. The final boss in Mighty Number 9. Why is the final boss purple with the background purple, and when I can absorb its data purple?
Yikes, very purple.
It was purple. I was so
Once you go
mad.
purple, you never go back.
Yeah,
You're so mad yourself.
I was so mad when I beat it, I split that disc in half and threw it in my toilet.
Yikes.
Sounds like whoever
Jeez.
designed that fight was a maroon.
I still got to say Paper Mario Color Splash is the most disappointing thing I've ever bought in my life.
I mean,
I
did
returned it the same day. I went to buy it. Looked pretty. Played it for 2 hours and then cried and took it back to Target. Or GameStop, wherever the hell I bought it.
Well, what's your next question?
Okay, the next one. For all of you, do you have any of the voice actor that inspires you that made you become a voice actor specifically for a Western cartoon? Like
Or just Western animation specifically?
For me personally, like Jamel Blanc, who's known for
Right.
Bugs Bunny and others. But what about you?
I mean, mine are pretty much much common staples. You know, Tom Kenny is always a great inspiration. His ability to create such lively characters is very fun. Kari Wahlgren I knew from anime, but I've heard her work on stuff like Rick and Morty, and I like her ability to just play the realistic and the authentic just as often as she plays the crazy and exaggerated. Those are the main two that come to mind for me.
Alright, that's interesting.
Anyone else? I love Great Live.
Okay, one last for Kaiji.
Yes, sir.
I know it's too much for you, but can you yell my aching blood? Just
Sure.
not too loud.
Sure.
Not too
All
loud.
the mic away.
Off mic, 10 feet away.
My aching blood!
I'm sorry, KG, we're off mic. We couldn't get that take. Could you...
Can I try it?
Go for it. Absolutely.
Do it.
Alright.
Don't need the mic.
My aching blood!
Alright.
Thank you, sir.
It makes you aching blood brothers.
Yeah. You can take a roll when I age out of it.
No problem. Alright, just a last comment. Thank you for some of you for voicing all of the characters. It's just amazing of what you went through with everything, and you made all of the anime fans happy, and even the gamers like me. So you made me a happy gamers, especially to Fire Emblem voice actor and actresses.
We are grateful to have the careers that we do and to be able to make a living off of them, and we are grateful for you guys for being enthusiastic enough about wanting dubs to make this a career that's possible for us. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been a really good experience for me, and my brother right there.
Yeah,
He's wearing
no
the
problem. Thanks for your questions.
shirt right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for the experience.
No problem.
Thanks, man. Who do we got next?
Yeah, I just want to say, I keep eating these haichus. Damn, the grape one is good. That's it.
Do you want another grape, Alejandro Saab?
Yeah!
Grape is a superior flavor.
Well, what's your question?
What's the weirdest thing you had to say for voice acting?
This is easy. Eat some noodles, stay off meth.
I have to do this one in character so you guys know this was for a performance and it's not my actual opinion.
No, Daddy! When you lick me there, it makes me feel all funny inside.
If you watch My First Girlfriend as a Gal, that entire show.
Come back to me.
But funny enough, I'm like trying to think of things that you guys have said in booth, and I'm coming up blank.
There's
right
so many
now.
lines, it's hard to remember sometimes.
Yeah.
Mary Skelter had some creepy things to say.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was gonna say Mary Skelter, but I can't remember what my exact lines were.
I just know the weirdest interaction I've had with Eddie was both of us, we were recording for a record of Grand Quest War, and we made Chris Kaysen very uncomfortable because we were just doing an impression of the flea from Mucha Lucha. So it's like, the flea! And afterwards, like, I just kept looking at Chris during our interaction, and I texted Eddie, and I'm like, hey, do you think he felt awkward and just uncomfortable? And he just goes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yo, for real though, you just mentioned regular Grand Crest War. I just remembered, I was the only character in that show who had sex with someone.
Hey,
That was the
congratulations!
only damn one. And it was in a desert with Erica Harlocker's character, and it was just in the sand.
It was so.
Oh, that's hot.
And it was quiet, like just music playing and stuff. It was so awkward.
And it went on for like too
It was
long.
like 2 minutes.
I was
of,
like tweeting at her, live tweeting while it was happening. I was like, Erica, it's happening right now. And she's like, oh. It was great. My aching blood. Yeah. So that's the answer to your question.
There you go.
Thank you.
Watch My First Girlfriend is a Gal.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, dog.
What question do you got for us?
What's a project from
A little closer on the mic.
what's a project from the past where you were really, really like just waiting for the day the NDA was so you can be like
Free
proud?
project.
now.
The one I'm working on right now.
Anyone else before?
They're all the same.
Yeah, one more
I
right
guess,
now.
I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses was a hard one to hold in for me.
Yeah.
So, or Devil May Cry 5, that was also like a really
Dragonball
hard one to hold in.
The actual role is not anything to write home about. I have 2 voiceover lines in Detective Pikachu the movie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the train announcer and I'm the arena announcer, and they each have 1 line. Woo!
I hope you know I almost got kicked out of the
My entire performance in that film takes up about 8 seconds total. Anyway, but it was the first time like I went to see it on release night with a group of friends, and I didn't realize this, but the way that they had organized the additional voice credits, it said additional voices, and then it was in alphabetical order. So my name was dead center, right underneath additional voices. If you read that title, you saw my name. It was undeniable. So I got to, for the first time in my life, I got to have that moment of no one around me knowing that I was in the project, and then seeing my name and turning to me and going, "You! Why didn't you sing?" Because I don't want to get taken to court, man.
I mean, to be fair, I think I stood up in the theater when I heard your voice, and I was like, "That's Sean!"
Sit up!
Yeah, pretty much.
I seem to recall, like, when we recorded the actual game, Detective Pikachu, the NDA process with that game was actually pretty smooth, because I was working on, I think it was some Bang Zoom anime at the time, and I had convinced myself that this Detective Pikachu thing, yeah, it was fine, right? That's okay. But this anime we're working on, yeah, this is gonna be big. I don't even remember what show it was, to be honest. Like, Detective Pikachu hit, and it was great, but, yeah, I remember, like, kind of really...
Was it Megalobox?
No, Megalobox came after. But yeah, after recording Detective Pikachu, I remember being like super chillax about it for like right up until it landed. And we're like, hey guys, you know, if you guys have some kids, you can pick up this really cute Detective Pikachu game. It's fun, yeah, go for it. And it got turned into a movie. Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. I love your scarf.
Oh, thank you. Have you ever played a game that you voice acted in and cringed at your own voice or wished you could change anything?
That is precisely why I never play a game that I have also voice acted in.
This is exactly why I don't like playing games that you guys are in.
Oof.
Yeah.
That is a joke. I love
so-
all of them dearly.
There's a game called The Sky 5.
Oh, I love it.
And I voiced a character named Red Magnus, and I cringe only because I remember that I bled during that process. Like Red Magnus, if you recall,
His voice is this all the time. There is no 1 or 2. It's 3 and above.
After the first 4 hours of that, and then the following like 6, 7, 8, that was a long game. 12 hours, I bled. You know, I straight up just coughed up blood because we had made an acting choice, and it was too late to change that acting choice.
Wrong choices.
Yeah, wrong choices.
2 things. Well, one of them, probably the first game I ever voiced was called Freedom Planet. That one, I voiced a character called Mayor Zhao, and I hated every second of it while I played it. Second, to Keiji's note, I've played this guy at 5, and whenever I heard your character, I just thought of Murray from Sly Cooper.
I did find it, actually the main reason why I don't hear myself in games I play is because a lot of the games I voice for just one reason or another, are not up my alley in terms of their type. Like Persona 5 is a beautiful game, but I was never really a big fan of the demon fusion mechanics. It's not my sort of thing, so I didn't end up playing that. I did finally get to hear myself via Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Everybody when that came out for Nintendo Switch. That was a pretty surreal experience. I wouldn't say I cringe at my own performance because I do put faith in my directors, except for Eddie, and my performances. But I will hear other performances in the same game that I really admire, and it makes me reflect on mine, like, oh, I wish I'd done something like this, or I wish I had delivered it more authentically like this person had. So it usually happens as a result of comparing myself to other performances rather than just not liking what I did. Because if I don't like what I did, I will ask the director to let me do another take. Like, I'm shameless about that.
So, Sean, what you said, it was kind of like exactly my experience. Like, I strong at, then I'm usually like pretty okay with listening to it. Like I played a lot of Soul Calibur and heard myself as Talim, and I was like, you know, pretty happy with it. Or like Heart Ino and Blaze Blue, it's like, you know, the like loud, energetic kind of characters are something that I'm really comfortable with. But when I was playing through Nier Automata, I was like, you know, obviously I'm like proud of what I did overall, but I definitely had some moments where I was like, oh, I feel like I could have done that scene better or something. And also because the performance of 9S, Kyle McCarley, was just so amazing. I remember texting him and I was like, your 9S is so good, I'm worried that I can't live up to it.
I feel like as actors, we're all very critical of our own work, and we just want to do the best we can. I guess like for Dragon Ball FighterZ, it was a lot of pressure for me because I've been voice matching for Chris Ayres for Frieza, so that was like, oh, I really hope I can do that the proper justice for Dragon Ball fans, because as a Dragon Ball fan, you know, like I want it to be as good as possible. So that was nerve-wracking, I guess.
He's great. They wouldn't have picked you if they didn't think you were capable.
Thank you.
He's great.
It's really good, dude. It's really good.
Thank you. Kaiji coughing on blood while working was very anime of you.
It was. I wouldn't repeat the experience. I've now seen that episode in my life, and it's enough.
Thank you all for coming. It's amazing to see you guys out of character and as real people.
I never left character.
I am a character.
Thank you.
I'm DLC.
Sean Chiplock 2, Electric
Ooh.
I have a question about practice. Do you guys practice like at home? And
Yes.
not just you yelling at yourself in your room? Or how does that
I yell at my cat.
They yell at me.
I yell at my cat.
do the neighbors ever complain?
Oh yeah. To be fair, I did have one. So I had to do an audition, and I waited till the last minute, and it was due at 9 a.m. So I woke up at 7, and I'm yelling my lungs out at 7 a.m. And then they're the best neighbors because they didn't go. They went. It was the softest knock, and I was like, you know what? They're right. I'm the asshole. That's the worst. They're not mad. They're just disappointed.
No, that's like the disappointed parent.
They're probably Asian neighbors. Yeah. I invested in a whisper room for just that reason.
I did on the 6th floor.
Oh no! Whisper boo?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid. So
I was really bad about doing warm-ups for the longest time, and it was just a matter of I just didn't set this time aside to practice for it. What kind of got me kickstarted was after I started my very brief job at California Adventure for Turtle Talk, because they forced you to do physical and vocal warm-ups before you went behind the mic. And so that kind of just got me introduced to just very basic, you know, throat exercises, limericks and stuff like that. And it became easier after that for me to remember to do it. But I guess another reason is, and maybe this is one of the hidden benefits, because I know a lot of you live pretty close to where you guys record, right? You're like 10, 15 minutes away. So I drive out from Torrance every time I go to work in Burbank. So that's about an hour and a half, depending on traffic. I'll throw on my iPod and I'll mix between humming along to the song, you know, whether I'm humming in my lower register or my higher register. I'll do the raspberries with your tongue. You're like, you know, to the notes. Even a little bit of falsetto, because singing falsetto, as long as you put full breath behind it, will help open up your lungs, open up your trachea, and like, you know, prep for proper breath control. And so usually if I remember to do that, then by the time I get to the studio, I'm all warmed up, and it costs nothing extra to do. I'm already, you know, in traffic waiting to get to the booth. So yeah, and nowadays I'm much better about it.
I think like car practice is really good. Car practice or at home stuff, typically to get the voice right here.
One more question for the engineer guy. What exactly is it that you do, and how do I get to do that?
Okay, so what exactly I do is I do all the computer work. I press the buttons, I set up the microphones, make sure everything's running. I'm pretty much the in-between from the actor's voice to the computer.
He's the one who makes sure we actually sound good.
Yeah, or sound really bad if it goes me off, you know. And how to get into it, that's a hard question, because I fell in on accident. someone was looking for someone else and they found me and they're like, you can do this thing, right? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then it ended up being the Devil May Cry series, and I just kind of fell. There are schools for Pro Tools and the programming and stuff like that, and I think that's generally like what people do. But I fell in by accident, and now y'all are stuck with me.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Your hair makes it worth it, Eddie.
This is for Mr. Chiplock. What is your favorite Danganronpa game? And if so, what is your favorite character from that game?
I love Danganronpa V3 because there is so much that you can do in it. Like, sure, there's the main game mode, but then there's all like the mini games and the sub game modes, and the fact that there's that board game mode where like every character from the past game can have an interaction with every other character that's in the franchise. It is, I mean, at least before Breath of the Wild came out, it is amazing to me that they put that much stuff onto such a tiny little cartridge. It's worth the value of the game, you know, full price, or even if you had to buy it overpriced on Amazon, it would probably be worth it. My favorite character, oh man, I'm forgetting, his name is, he's the guy in the green trench coat, the green jacket, like the crazy hair. Yeah, I love him. I just love his personality. But out of like all the Monokuma bears, all the Monokuma kids, I like the one that Patrick Seitz voices, the Rockstar Bear.
Patrick Seitz. Huh? Patrick Seitz.
Patrick Seitz voices everyone in this calendar all the time. Good times, good times.
Everyone's got a Patrick impression.
Everyone's done it. But I just, because I always love characters that are super jazz, super high energy, and the fact that he rocks out on all of his lines, it's just, that's my jam, literally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice catch.
Good job.
I have two questions. First off, if you guys were to have a character be your roommate, like what character would you want to be your roommate?
Out of characters we voiced,
Lee Xiaolong, because he's rich. Oh, so rich. So rich. I'd never have to work again.
Well, he's your roommate. He wouldn't pay your bills.
Well, I don't know. You'd have to network with him.
I mean, you wouldn't want Archer? Like, he's real quiet.
No, he's so depressing. Like, all you want to talk about is like, I want to go back in time and kill myself. Oh, geez, Archer, calm down. But he would be a really good cook. So, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, now that you brought that up, Kuga from Food Wars, because he make all my food.
do you guys have anything?
I would say Kirumi Tojo because think about it, the ultimate maid.
And I would definitely pick Ren because she seems super polite and she plays piano, so we could like make music together.
If I were still in college, I would pick Subaru because anytime I was gonna miss a deadline for an assignment, I'd be like, oh, my roommate died. Oh, I'm so depressed. I need an extra day. Wow.
I feel like you've thought about this question before. You were prepared for that.
Thought about dying? That's a part of adulthood.
No, like you've heard that question before. Like you were like, you guys want to go?
But wait,
Okay,
no, I'm making sure they have a chance to input because we're over here just like taking all the
You were
spots.
so excited for that answer.
Wait, but what if you heal back to a previous point and you...
That's his problem, not mine.
Yes, it would be because then you'd mess up, then you'd procrastinate all over again.
Look, man, I didn't think this far into it, okay?
So I'm just like, wait, that's not how this... Oh my god.
Basic procrastination.
What about Kai from the Royal Tutor? Everything in my apartment would be so soft. Soft pillows, soft towels.
All right, fine, Alejandro. I would be the Halloween skeleton from the mobile game. So whenever I was sad, I could poke his belly and get funny Halloween jokes. Are you happy now?
It makes more sense.
And my second question was, could I have a green haichu? My brother ate all mine from my bag.
Green haichu? Throw! Here, have another. Don't fall! Who else wants a haichu? Help me out! Help me out! You guys help me out!
My aim is...
I am the 1%!
It's not money, calm down. There's plenty.
Man, you guys are like the evil aunts and uncles. Like you're sugaring up your nieces and nephews and sending them back home with their parents.
You're really bad at throwing, dude.
No, sport. It's air resistance, man. You guys gotta move up.
Here you go. No, those are, if you give them to me, I'm eating them.
All right, come on.
Or what's your question?
All right, my question is, how did you all get started? Because I mean, you're all just getting all these iconic roles, and it's like really crazy to me. Because like I've been looking around on places online, and I'm like, oh, here's this nice little role. But like, how did you guys all get started?
Training, agents, demo, all of that.
I mean, low-key but high-key, everyone at this table has been doing this for a long, long time. Much longer than you would think.
How long have you been doing it? I've been doing it since 2012.
I've been doing it since 2006 or 2007.
2008.
2000
The secret to voice acting is eating the great high chew.
Sir, if I might ask, where are you located right now?
I'm like Lake Balboa area. California.
Have you tried Actors Access?
No.
Actors Access is a very intuitive tool for actors. It breaks down locations based on where you live, and it'll show you exactly what sorts of acting projects are being listed in your area. It's a pay per year site, I believe it is, or monthly, I can't remember. But it's the tool I use to start out to find auditions in my area. It's a very powerful tool.
My first voiceover job was off of LA Casting.
Yeah?
Randomly.
Yeah. LA Casting, Actors Access, pay your subscription fee and they'll tell you where the auditions are.
There's also a lot of casting director workshops in the LA area.
Yeah, it was called MeetThePros.com. Now it's the VO Pros.
Yeah.
Just changing it out. And I mean, it's to give a forewarning, it is an educational workshop experience. It's not a guarantee of work. That being said, I did meet and get signed with my agent through those workshops, as well as started a business relationship with Mattel and Disney Parks. So if you are ready, if you're just learning, it's a great learning experience. If you are experienced enough, it is a potential way of getting yourself in front of casting directors. So,
Yo, side note, I can't stop eating these high chews.
Sorry, what was the main question? I was busy hitting people with sugar. It was, how do I get into voiceover?
How did you get into it?
How? Okay, Neopets.
And like, what inspired you?
What inspired me? Anime is definitely what inspired me. That's what got me into it, is because I wanted to have a chance to go on all these fantastical and theoretically impossible adventures that you just can't do in real life. It's hard to answer how I got into voiceover, how I got my foot in the industry, because even in the current day, my career opportunity comes from so many different places. Like my first anime gig came because, or I got in with Bang Zoom because I won a voiceover competition like Kira did back during the Anime Expo days. But what got me on Persona 5 was I was introduced to the recording studio by a game company that was doing a different project with them after working with Bang Zoom, and that was completely separate. Breath of the Wild happened because Studio A was not working on it at all, but they got a request from a different studio to send talent their way for auditions. So there's 100 different ways that these opportunities can show up, and the only thing you or I or anyone else has control over is how prepared we are and how up to date our creative skills are. So that's really what it boils down to, is just being prepared as you can be, so that when the opportunity comes up, whether it's a workshop or a random audition or a referral from a friend, you are in your best position to maximize on that.
There's definitely no right answer.
Also, I can't stress this enough, chicken sacrifices. Chicken sacrifices. It has worked so well for me.
Sometimes sheep.
One chicken a month will do you.
Knife or burning, or what do we do?
You know what? Just cook it up and eat it. Just, have it in your heart that it's a sacrifice once a month.
Strap it to a chair and force it to watch all of Inuyasha.
And never do the same thing twice.
The more you eat, the more you fart.
Just don't fart.
Gross.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
Nice jacket.
Wow.
I'm too short.
Just bend the mic down a little bit.
There you go.
Here's a question to all of you. What was the most embarrassing thing you ever said in the game?
I think I said that earlier.
Sorry, I was okay.
Okay, so since I already said something that was embarrassing, when I was recording as Kiyotaka Ishimaru and we were doing the spa scene, this is more of a funny, like, they wouldn't let me retake it. We're recording in the spa scene and I'm trying to power at the person that I'm sitting next to, and the line was, this isn't hot. You say this is hot? I could go for a steaming bowl of soup right now. except when I said it, my voice cracked, so it came out as, I could go for a steaming bowl of soup right now. And I was like, oh, my voice cracked, and they went, it's okay, moving on. I went, no, I messed up, I want to record again. Nope, we're keeping it in, moving on. So they would not let me retake that screw up. So if you play Danganronpa and you get to that scene, you will get to hear me hit puberty, and they wouldn't do anything about it. They were like, nope, that's cute, keeping it, moving on.
For me, the most embarrassing thing is under NDA, so I can't talk about it, but Harry Skelter is like the second one, so we have to moan and stuff.
Harry Skelter was really great.
This is not even a game, it's an anime, but Testament of Sister New Devil, that entire show. Like, I've worked on so many fan service shows and games, I'm just like, whatever.
It's not a video game, but since, whatever, Animanga is more funny than anything, I'm just gonna say it again. I remember my girlfriend was in town and Aaron Disney, our director, let her sit on a session. There's this episode of Animanga where Jugo is in jail and, well, we're all in jail, but Uno is, my character's holding a body pillow of his character. And I remember I did the line and my director was like, okay, that was good, but can you do it like you're coming on to a baby? And I was like, what? You're right. But then, apparently this is what happened. I instinctively did like a motion to make it seem like I was talking to a baby.
Like you were just holding the baby up?
I was just doing this, I guess. He mutes the mic and he slams on the desk. My girlfriend is watching all of this. She's behind him. And he goes, he's doing it! He's actually doing it! And that's the line that's in the show.
Yikes. From the same show, there was a quote I said in the very first episode as Jugo. It was, I have very little body hair and my nipples are bright pink. It was very awkward.
I like guys too!
Oh yeah! I mean, hey.
So we had this is an ancient show, but there's a show called Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha. Ancient magical girl show. And when I was working on it as a German-speaking hammer, the director at the time, we were just messing around and recording outtakes, you know. So there's a scene where Nanoha, the magical girl, one of the magical girls swings the magic hammer in a very dramatic motion, right? So we put a string right to the sound, had a great time, everyone laughed, and made it into the show. No one checked. No one QC'd it. No one thought to give that episode a glance before they sent it off. You can hear it right now if you picked up the DVD. Just right at the end, at the culmination of the series, when everything is super serious, when they're about to fight the big boss.
That's hot.
I want to go watch this now.
All right, we're
0
minutes left, so we can take 2 more questions. We'll take 2 more questions. We'll take your question.
Yeah.
Lightning round.
Who is the least favorite character from any video game you've ever played?
Like we just hate them?
Yes.
Owa and Persona 5. Is that Oya? Oh yeah. She's the photographer, the article lady. Yeah, she's useless. I'm sorry.
Right. So in Dragon Age Inquisition, there is a racist elf named, I think, Sarah. She's terrible, and she's a romance option. It's horrible. Who wants to be with that?
Do you think she like just throws racial slurs at you?
Oh, she does. She does in the game. Like
no. As your main.
Oh, of course. I mean, if you're a human, she hates you. Oh my God. She has no end of like racist crap to say about humans. And if you're a human, you can still get with that. I don't get it. Anyway.
Why would you want to...
My wife plays a game called Story of Seasons. For the third person line, we only have time for 2 more questions. I'm sorry, so we won't be able. My wife plays a game called Story of Seasons, and one of the bachelor options is this guy named Wuthio. He is a man who wears a dog mascot costume, but according to the in-game canon lore, he wore it for so long that his physical form disappeared, and all that's left is the dog mascot costume. Here's the thing, you can have kids with him.
For me, it's Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 because he's freaking terrifying.
play against this character, and they're a really bad matchup for me, and they destroy me, and then I get mad about it.
Ooh, same. That mood. Big mood.
Ganondorf.
Can I just say Matt Mercer is McCree because he kills me every single time.
Yep.
Next.
All right, last question.
One. Thank you.
What do you feel is your most dramatic role that you've done so far?
Most what? Dramatic?
Dramatic roles so far.
Of games or anime or everything?
Both.
Okay.
Oh, anything.
So Anohana is on Netflix.
Oh, yes.
Go cry.
Yeah, please, if you're in the mood to cry, that show will do it. Yeah.
I QA tested Anohana, KG, and I actually couldn't do my job because I couldn't read the subtitles through my tears.
I couldn't record it because I was crying.
True story. I had to take an early lunch break because I couldn't check what I was supposed to be checking because the tears were making it hard to see.
And the worst part is the show is merciless about it. Like, it doesn't give you a second to breathe. It's like, oh, you're sad? Get sadder. Oh, you're really sad? Cry harder. Like, it's just all the way up to the end.
It's so sad.
I normally am just cast as the goofball, but probably three I can think of is Sada Zanmai, Kono Oto Tomare, Sands of Life, and Hakata Takotsu Ramens.
Yeah, those are mine. Yeah, all three. My heart.
You gone?
They all his answers. Sada's on my Kono Tomare and Hakata Takotsu Ramens.
Probably most dramatic for me video game would be Zenk from Fairy Fencer F, just because I'd always wanted to play like a bloodthirsty serial killer type character, and I had an absolute blast with that. It seems obvious to say Subaru Natsuki in ReZero, but that character was all over the spectrum of emotions. I had my moments where I had to literally bring myself to tears and then keep crying through 40 minutes of scene recording. When I had to have my angry outbursts, there's a scene towards the end of the series where I am being possessed by the main villain of that arc, and it switches back and forth between him trying to take over my body and me trying to fight him off, but I voice both sides.
It's insane. The back and forth
I am
is crazy.
super proud of it, because he recorded sessions where I did this, where I speak as my character, and then I switch to the villain, like telling me off, and then I switch back to me fighting him, and it's all in the same take. We didn't do separate characters, separate takes.
Yeah, this madman was like, no, I want to do it one take. Like, all right.
One take!
One take! For me, most dramatic roles, obviously Ramen ReZero and Crystar for video games.
They're so damn good.
I mean, I feel like to be in Nier Automata, even though most of the time she's like, she's very like calm and composed, but there's just so much sad stuff in that game, and she goes through some really like hard things, and it just like, I cried so much when playing that. And another one that's not a lot of people have heard of, it's a game called Death End Request. I play the character named Lily. Yeah, they have really heavy backstories. Super dramatic. Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
That's the panel.
I think that is the end for us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
If you want Haichu, Sean will
Sean
at
has
you.